This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet world, West Alabama. How are we doing today on a Thursday, December 4th, first week of December, SEC Championship week. Hope you and yours are doing well. This is the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com. You're watching us on the BamaCentral YouTube channel, listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral. We appreciate everybody joining us on their favorite podcast platforms. We appreciate Purple Turtle Roofing for sponsoring the program. You can call Purple Turtle Roofing at 877-787-6635. They'll take care of all of your roofing needs. Make sure your house is ready for Santa to land. Make sure you don't have any leaks in your roof and you have the security and peace of mind that you deserve. Right there, call them at Purple Turtle Roofing, 877-787-6635. Really, anywhere in Alabama, anywhere in the Southeast, Purple Turtle Roofing can get to you. We're excited to hang out with Mason Woods another day. We'll find out if he's even alive, really, after yesterday hanging out covering Alabama, Missouri, Boston College, and Vanderbilt. Alabama losing a couple of recruits yesterday. We mentioned the Brian Williams Jr. We teased the Brian Williams flip to Auburn, but two others we teased. I think we teased the J.J. Finch flip to Tennessee. Maybe we did. If we didn't, then we'll hit that as well. But Alabama also losing another receiver to another SEC program, doubling up Mason's work when Owen Cabell flipped from Alabama to Vanderbilt. So we'll make sure that he's alive. What we're also going to do is get his thoughts on the basketball game last night. Alabama beating Clemson 90-84, coming out really, really hot from behind the three-point line, and then kind of letting their foot off the gas and letting Clemson back into the ball game. So we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about the initial injury report last night, SEC injury report for the championship game. As an Alabama starter, surprise Alabama starter on the injury list, already listed as out. So we'll talk about who that is and what Alabama will do replacing him. And if we have some time, we'll talk about Clark Lee trying to schedule an extra game this weekend. So that's going to be the game plan for the day. We appreciate everybody following us at Joe Gaither 6, at MA Woods _ at Bama Central. You can follow us right there. You can call us on the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. I believe Everett has a voicemail for us, Mason, so I gotta load that up real quick. We'll get Everett's voicemail in right here. You can join Everett on that voicemail line at 205-462-7340. 205-462-7340, extension 800, if you want to be a part of the program. With that, Mason, good morning, man. How you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. I went to bed a little earlier than I usually do last night. Got to get a decent amount of sleep. Still recovering, but I'm feeling pretty good. Everything went off mostly without a hitch yesterday. Have to give a big shout out to everyone, on all of our teams for all the help they gave me. Couldn't have done it without them, but it was a lot for sure, and it was a busy day. But we are through the woods now.
Yeah, so Alabama really not a whole lot of big surprises on the recruiting trail. We kind of teased the Brian Williams flip to Auburn based on his prior relationship with Alex Golish. We kind of teased the J.J. Finch flip to Tennessee, which stinks for you and I personally since we interviewed J.J. Finch, and I thought he gave us a pretty good little episode in the summer. I always like to see those guys that come on the show actually end up at Alabama, but he is going to Tennessee, at least for now. Maybe we'll find him in the transfer portal in a year or so. And then Alabama losing Owen Cabell to Vanderbilt. So really, those
and Jabari Barnett to Illinois.
Yes.
Not super consequential, I don't think. I think with Xavier Carell coming in, I don't really know what Barnett's role was going to be in this class. But you lose him nonetheless. He flips back to Illinois where he flipped from previously.
So there you go. 4 guys that were on the commitment list end up signing with other schools yesterday. Other than that, how did the day treat you from the Alabama side? Any surprises? Any big takeaways? What was your reaction to Alabama bringing in a class of 20-something prospects?
Yeah, no real shocks, honestly. Like you said, we kind of knew going into yesterday that the guys that did flip were on the fence a little bit. So when they made it official, it wasn't all that surprising. The guys that you did sign, you signed 20 of your 22 commits. The only two guys that you didn't sign are the walk-on tight end Jude Cascone from Walton High School there in Georgia, and then the long snapper Eli Deutsch. So, you are, I think, as of last night, still ranked number 2 class in the country. Kalen DeBoer did it again. I don't know what else can you say. This staff very clearly knows how to recruit. I think during his press conference yesterday, he even said, I don't remember what the exact number is, but I think it's something like 14 of the 20 signees are from the southern states. So, for anybody that wanted to say he doesn't know how to recruit the South, he absolutely can, and he absolutely did. So Alabama is looking pretty good, I think, from a recruiting standpoint.
Yeah, that was a nice little sending my jabs right back at y'all online, you online trolls right there. I was listening to Courtney Morgan and Bob Welton talk yesterday with Roman Harper and Chris Stewart, and they asked him, how do you go about filling up your recruiting class? Who do you go after? How do you determine your numbers? This, that, and the other. And because Roman Harper was like, when I was around, it was 25 on the dot, 25 on the dot, every class, 25, 25. And Courtney Morgan was like, yeah, now you really just don't know based on what you're going to be losing. So you just recruit everybody that you can. You just go out there and you recruit the guys that you like. And if they like you, then it's going to work out. And so it was very interesting to hear Courtney Morgan.
Have you seen the size of USC's class?
No.
35 commits.
Wow.
I don't know where they're all going, but that's seemingly they took the same approach and really, really took it to heart.
Well, you must be expecting a big transfer portal departure. I mean, at least, or trying to get ahead of a transfer portal departure is kind of the way that. And honestly, that's good news for Alabama fans that SC took a really big class, because I know you're still seeing Tim Brando go out there and talk about Penn State getting Kalen DeBoer, and you're seeing other bozos honestly talking about Penn State. And we talked about it 2 weeks ago, just bringing it up that it was an actual rumor and that Penn State was actually interested. I do think they were actually interested, but I think at this point, you can rule out Kalen DeBoer to Penn State. My biggest worry at the moment for Kalen DeBoer leaving Tuscaloosa, and yesterday did a lot for that, but it's Lincoln Riley taking an NFL job and Southern Cal opening up, because I've heard just little rumor, little whispers that Coach DeBoer is interested in the Southern Cal job just a little bit, or likes the thought of the Southern Cal job. And as long as that can stay filled, then Alabama won't really be having to worry about that. I don't really think that Alabama's got that much to worry about that. I would put that worry at about 5%. I don't really think that's very a significant worry, but it is kind of the one spot right now that I think you might be thinking about. Penn State off the table. I think Southern Cal maybe 3, 4, 5%. If Lincoln Riley is taking a 35 kid class, maybe he's got no intentions of leaving there, and great. And yesterday's class for Coach DeBoer at Alabama certainly signified to me no intention of leaving. You bring in 5 stars like E.J. Crowell, Sadarian Morgan, Xavier Griffin. You bring in lots of offensive linemen. You brought in 2 quarterbacks. 2 quarterbacks certainly seems like a man who's planning for the future. So I think that Coach DeBoer and company are planning to stick around in Tuscaloosa in yesterday's class, just adding to their cupboard.
Yeah, I'm overall really happy with the way the class turned out. I think, kind of like you're saying, you got at just about every premium position, you got a premium player. You got really good defensive backs, you got really good wide receivers, running backs, edge rushers, everything that you need, all of those kind of top end positions that people like to call the premium positions. You got guys there.
Is Max Sutter going to be the most underrated add to this group?
Man, I do really like what you have in Max Sutter. I think he is a freakishly athletic tight end. I don't want to like put super lofty expectations on incoming freshmen, but like he does kind of have that Kyle Pitts-esque where it's like he's almost just a wide receiver. He
Mm-hmm.
has that kind of athletic skill set. So I really think that he will bring a lot of versatility to the offense. Maybe something, that we were expecting to get from some of the other tight ends this season that we haven't quite seen.
Yeah, put him on the field with Caleb Edwards and Marshall Pritchett, and I think you're going to be cooking. Let's run a little 13 personnel, coach. Let's get big bodies out there and really bully some people, and then use those three guys with their athleticism as well. So I'm really excited about Max Sutter, tight end out of Illinois or Indiana?
Illinois.
So I'm really excited about him, we were excited about Caleb Edwards last year, and you were excited about Marshall Pritchett. So I think that room, despite the loss of Josh Cuevas at the end of the year, and you're going to lose Danny Lewis, who has been the walking injury, I think that room is about to be beefed back up.
Can we just call him the walking boot? That can just be his nickname.
Yes. Oh man.
There's a big gap to be filled there. So like a lot of opportunity for all of these guys to kind of, stake their claim.
Certainly, and Caleb Edwards has put his foot forward there. Marshall Pritchett getting some playing time last week in Auburn, and obviously in the Eastern Illinois game as well. Dropped his only target.
Oh, it was so bad. I was like, yeah. Oh, it was just so disappointing. Still encouraged by what you've seen from him, and they'll back into this season. I think they are very obviously trying to get him more involved. But yeah, that was a tough one.
So make sure you're following Mason Woods for all the recruiting coverage at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine, BamaCentral.com, Alabama Crimson Tide on SI. He's going to have you covered for whenever anybody else signs, anybody flips, anybody commits, anybody decommits. You can find all that on Mason's Twitter machine. What was the Vanderbilt reaction? Just real quick, one more thing here. What was the Vanderbilt reaction not only to adding Jared Curtis, but just to make it Alabama specific, adding Owen Cabell as well?
I mean, I think it was a lot of people just kind of similar to like how the Alabama fans treat things, where it's, we're getting the at-home kids, we're keeping the local kids at home. And like, that's a big thing for a college program, regardless of who you are. You want to get the premium talent that is right there in and around your school. And, not that Owen Cabell was a 5-star wide receiver or anything in this class, but he was one of the best prospects out of the Nashville area, and they went and got him, and they got him to flip. And I think it's big. And, not only did they get him to flip, they got him to flip from Alabama. So in back-to-back days, you go 5-star number 1 quarterback in the class from Georgia, probably the best receiver in the area from Alabama. So it was really big. I think their confidence is at an all-time high. If you're a Vanderbilt fan right now, you are soaring.
Yeah,
they have, in my opinion, absolutely arrived as like a premier program in the SEC. You go and get the number 1 prospect in the class. I think you're there.
Yeah, so we'll see what they end up doing with it. But everybody was kind of pretty. A lot of people were na boo boo when Diego Pavia leaves. Y'all are going to go right back to the basement, na boo boo. I don't know if that's really going to be the case. Now, I think Jared Curtis is going to take a little bit of time to, ascend as a top end quarterback. But he's got the talent. He's got a rocket arm, and to get a prospect like that, go through the freshman growing pains with him next year. That's fine. Keep adding talent. Stay in the path. Stay in the course. I think Vanderbilt will continue on the uptick.
Yeah, I think Clark Lee, I don't know what exactly the question that was posed to him, but I know he was kind of asked about it yesterday at his press conference, the potential of Jared Curtis being the starter in his first year there. And he did not directly say, obviously, oh yeah, he'll be our starter, but he was pretty open to the fact that he'll be competing for it.
So make sure you're following Mason for all the recruiting news for all these schools: Alabama, Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Boston College. Mason, let's go ahead and lead the rest of the show with our voicemails. I got 2, actually. Hunter Brantley called as well, so I'm sure he's going to react to the basketball game. We got Everett Osmer and Hunter Brantley. You guys can call us on the voicemail machine at 205-462-7340, extension 800, if you want to be a part of the show. Let's see what our friends have to say.
Hey guys, this is Everett from Marion. I know that y'all already discussed this, but I want y'all's predictions for Saturday, and so predict how the basketball team will do at the end of this season. And thank you very much. Love y'all show, and roll Tide.
Roll Tide. That's Everett Osmer asking for a prediction for Saturday and asking for a basketball prediction. I'll go with Saturday. I think Alabama's going to win a lower scoring ball game in the 24-17. Maybe that's not lower scoring to some. In the 21-17 range is kind of how I'm feeling. I think that Alabama's offense, despite me not really feeling confident in any area of Alabama's offense, I am really confident in the defense, and I think that the offense will, search and find something that works, and they'll end up getting it done. I'm thinking somewhere in the range of 21-17. Don't hold me to that, Everett. I'm going to make an official prediction tomorrow on Football Friday, but right here on a Thursday, I'm feeling like 21-17 Alabama. Mason?
As much as I want to say that, I think this Alabama offense kind of figures something out in this game and gets back on track a little bit, I don't know that I can. I'm kind of with you where I think it'll probably be a lower scoring game. I think it's going to be one of those, and, we see this relatively frequently, I think, but, it's a lower scoring game, but it's never necessarily out of question for Alabama. You keep yourself at distance by 7 to 10 points for basically the entire game. But yeah, I could certainly see like a 24-17 kind of deal, something like that. I'm right there with you.
And then Everett asked for us to predict the rest of the basketball season. Right now, Everett, I see this basketball team as being very good. I don't know if I see this basketball team as being elite, like the Michigans of the world. I think that you can pretty much place a wager that Alabama's going to be in the Sweet 16, and I feel good about Alabama being in the Elite Eight, but I don't really see Indianapolis. I don't really see a Final Four run quite yet. Now, maybe you add some more bodies. Obviously, Jaleel Bethea playing last night for the first time, and it's so great to see him on the floor, but you didn't have Latrell and you didn't have Keaton Bristow, so you're still trying to figure out what's going on with Collins Onyejaka. So I think that right now I'm feeling really good about a Sweet 16. I'm feeling like I could go out on a limb for an Elite Eight, but I don't think I can take a step further and say Final Four.
Yeah, I'm not that far off from where you are. And I think health has a lot to do with the outcome of this team. I think if you can get healthy, the ceiling is a lot higher. I feel much more comfortable about saying they could get to a Final Four if you can get Latrell healthy, if you can get Keaton Bristow healthy, and maybe, who knows, maybe you can get Collins Onyejaka at some point this season. But yeah, right now, I mean, look, they looked solid last night. You went up pretty big. Clemson fought back. You stretched it back out there at the end to win the game, and you have, like we've talked about, put together some really impressive wins this season. And in those wins, you have looked like that Final Four caliber team. But, you haven't seen it consistently. So right now, I don't know that we will see it consistently throughout the season. So I'm going to have to sit there with you. Sweet 16, chance for the Elite Eight.
Alabama up to 14 in KenPom. So gives you kind of an idea of where they stack with the rest of the rest of the country analytically. Obviously, Michigan looks like an absolute load. The number 11 rated offense for Michigan and the number 1 rated defense. Purdue with the number 1 rated offense and the number 20 rated defense. Those two teams certainly looking like the cream of the crop. The cream always rises.
Tennessee is a wagon too.
We don't say that. Tennessee.
It's tough to admit, but that's a good basketball team.
Tennessee at 16 in KenPom, 30th overall offense and the 11th overall defense. I'd like to see Alabama take more steps on the defensive end. We've known Alabama is going to be solid on offense for years and years on end. Number 3 overall in offense, number 48 overall in defensive efficiency after last night's victory over the Clemson Tigers. And I got a suspicion that Hunter's call is about the basketball game. So let's go back to the voicemail line. First off, thank you, Everett, for calling 205-462-7340, extension 800. Everett joining us on the voicemail line. Let's find out what our friend Hunter has to say.
A win is a win is a win. I guess. It's always great to get a win, but my gosh, that was freaking ugly. How do you blow a 19-point lead to Clemson? You owned them in the first half. Freaking owned them. They could not guard you. You started 6 of 6 from 3. And yet you trailed in the second half? I am sick and tired of seeing Noah Williamson on my TV. That man can't jump over a paper clip. That dude is the most unathletic player I've seen. Please quit playing him. Please get him off my TV. Last time I'm saying it. I'd rather play the walk-on instead of him. That's all I got to say about that. Can we please get healthy also? I mean, my gosh. Are we going to have our entire starting rotation ever available in one game this year? Everybody available. All 12 scholarship guys. Ever. Freaking ridiculous.
Hunter Brantley joining us, and yes, a win is a win, but it did get pretty hairy. I mean, you were up on them. 45-30 at halftime, 15 points, but he's right. You did get up on him in the first half by 19 points. You were up on him by 19 points at the 9:48 mark, and you were also up on him at the 8:02 mark at 19 points. So a couple times, and lastly at 4:39. So a couple different times in the first half, you got up on them by virtually 20 points, and they started to cut into the lead at those last 4 minutes. Those last 4 minutes, they cut the lead all the way down to 15, which, I mean, that's only 4 points, but they continued to cut the lead down throughout the second half, going all the way 13 right out of halftime, 7 at 15 minutes left, all the way down to 2 points at 13 minutes left in the game, and then finally the Clemson Tigers took a 1-point lead right there at 9:53 to go. They ended up taking a lead a couple of different times down the stretch, all the way down to the 2:41 mark. It was going back and forth, battling back and forth, and it seemed like Alabama just playing with their food. Just, hey, we know we got these guys. We got up on y'all at 19 points pretty easily. I mean, they were making it rain from the 3-point line to start the game. They opened up the 3-point line just on fire, really. You had LeBaron make a 3-pointer. These first handful of threes right here, Mason. LeBaron, Taylor Bowen, that's 3. Amari Allen is 4. London Jemison is 5. Like, they basically, I think they went 6 of 6 right off the start. London Jemison is 5, and Jemison again is 6. So, like, just absolutely on fire from the 3-point line, and it just seemed like Alabama didn't want to engage in their killer instinct.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what it was. And I mean, it's all like, I know Clemson is not a top 25 team or anything, but like they were a tournament team last year. It's not like they're a horrible. It's not like you went out there and played Little Sisters of the Poor or something. Like, you played an ACC opponent. So, like, I think, like Hunter said, a win is a win is a win. They still got the win at the end of the game. They turned it on when they needed to. Now, would I like to see them turn it on for the full game? Sure. But we've kind of talked about it on this show, and Nate Oates has never said anything about this. The players never said anything about this. But this is a long season. You got to find your moments to get your rest in a little bit. And if you have the opportunity to take 3, 4, 5 minutes off against an inferior opponent, then close it out strong and win the game, why not do it? Why not save that energy for when you go play Arizona in 2 weeks?
Yeah, Arizona in 2 weeks is going to be a huge game. Yeah, next Saturday, the 13th. It's going to be a really, really big game. Alabama returns to the court on Sunday at 1 o'clock. They're going to take on UTSA. Austin Claunch and company is coming. So we'll see if they can be more healthy for that game. I think Hunter's dead on right there, but talking about how frustrating it is to deal with inconsistent, because Aiden Holloway wasn't playing either. We mentioned Luttrell and Keaton Bristow, but Aiden Holloway wasn't playing either, and so apparently he re-aggravated his wrist injury, and it's just like, golly, can we put these guys in hyperbaric chambers and just...
I mean, the wrist with him has been a thing since last season, wasn't it? Because he was rocking like the little wrist tape for, a lot of games, I think, last year.
Just nuts to see the team continuously be injured in one way or other, and nobody, nobody with serious injuries, just little nagging things. And so I guess it's just get to January, try to get everybody healthy in January. But
This is why you slack off against Clemson. You get your load management in.
you play your boy Noah Williamson 5 minutes last night.
There you go.
Oh, I'm with you, Hunter. I'm dead with you. I am. It's been a long time since I've seriously disliked an Alabama basketball player, a single player. But when he gets on the floor, my stomach just turns. My stomach just turns, and just not my spirit deep in my gut just turns into nastiness. And again, last night, 5 minutes, no rebounds. You're 7 foot tall, no rebounds. He was 0 for 1 from behind the 3-point line. That was his only shot that he took. He ended up with 2 fouls and a turnover in 5 minutes. Like, my man.
Just gotta let the man cook. Let him get comfy out there.
Play him more than 5 minutes? Is that
He's Jokic? If you just let him get comfortable. You saw that one pass. What was it? Two games ago? That was sweet. Had a nice little inside pass. I think it was LeBaron found him cutting to the basket. It's there. You just gotta pull it out.
I appreciate your faith in him much more because I have none. And look, maybe I'm going to be proven wrong with more time.
They drafted Jokic during a Taco Bell commercial.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to be proven wrong with more time, but I have no real faith that Alabama is going to be able to get much out of Mr. Noah Williamson.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, unfortunately, you just miss in the transfer portal, and this may be one of those cases.
Oh, gosh. It's painful. Well, Joel Bethea got 6 minutes of action?
I am truly shocked that he is back as early as he is. When we had talked about this, I don't even remember exactly how long ago, but we kind of had hinted that it seemed like, all right, maybe you get him back as you kind of hit SEC play at the latest as you're getting to the tournament. And that'd be awesome to plug in a former 5-star player right into this roster at peak season, but you get him back a month earlier than we even thought would be an early return for him. So I am very encouraged to see him out there. Hit the one. What did he scored
6
once?
points.
I think. Yeah.
No, 2 points on 6 minutes. Excuse me.
That's right. Okay. So getting his feet wet a little bit.
Got himself an offensive rebound putback. So we appreciate that. At least somebody's getting an offensive rebound.
Yeah,
rebounding numbers last night against Clemson. Clemson out-rebounded Alabama 43-39. Clemson 18 offensive rebounds. Turned that into only 6 second-chance points, but continues to be a big, big issue for Alabama as they've played through these first, 8 games or so. So really, really, really big issue for Alabama, clearing the defensive glass.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we can figure out. Obviously, Keaton Bristow's presence was sorely missed in that area, but just that seems to be going back to your question, how far can this team go or predict this team's season? That seems to be the area that's going to hold this team back.
I think it's all about getting Keaton Bristow back. You got to get him back and get him healthy because the difference in just, obviously he provides a lot just himself, but it really seems like when he's on the floor, everyone around him steps up their game just a little bit to kind of match his level of energy. And when he's not there, you can definitely tell.
So there we go. Alabama victorious over Clemson last night, 90-80, moves the record to 6-2. Next up is against UTSA, obviously giving Austin Claunch a bye game. He's coming back into Tuscaloosa. Aren't they the Roadrunners, UTSA? Aren't they? I think they are Roadrunners. They're at 258 in KenPom, so should be a pretty cakewalk afternoon.
Williamson, big game here. This is coming out party.
I hope so. UTSA 286 in offense, 207 in defense. So, we'll see. Do they have anybody tall? Their tallest player that plays is Mateo Kofi is at 6'8". They got Mo Nija is at 6'11", but he does not play very much at all, is what it seems like.
Does LeBaron set another career high in scoring?
The career high is now at 29 after last night, right?
29. So does he get the 30 piece?
Yeah, we'll see if he can get to 31 on Sunday and just take it up by 2 points every. What's the math on that? How many games do you have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 games until SEC play. So if you go 31, 33, 35, 37, 39, he'll be scoring 41 in the SEC opener against Kentucky.
Perfect.
We love it.
I mean, with the way Kentucky has looked this season against top opponents, I wouldn't be all that shocked.
Yeah, it looks like they spent some bad money. They spent some bad money on one of our players as well, even though we love OD, but bad
traitor.
Money. A little bit. So basketball wins last night, and that's really, really good.
That's all that matters.
I just have one more topic, Mason. And if you've got, well, actually, I have two. One's not really Alabama related. One's college football playoff related. Let's get into the Alabama injury report from last night as Alabama and Georgia released their initial injury report before the SEC championship game. Before we do that, though, I want to remind you we are brought to you by Purple Turtle Roofing. We're not just another contractor. We're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or your business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certifications, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. We specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacements, insurance claim support, and more. Call Purple Turtle Roofing at 877-787-6635 today to schedule your free roof inspection. Our friends Brax Garrison, our friends Dustin Foley, all of their friends will come out and check out your roof. Make sure that your roof is good to go for the winter season. Make sure you don't have any trouble spots. And if you do have any trouble spots, they'll walk you through the process, making sure that it's taken care of so you have the peace of mind that you deserve in your home. Purple Turtle Roofing. You can call them at 877-787-6635. They'll get you ready for Santa landing on your roof, making sure that you have all of your gifts right under the tree and making sure your roof survives the process of that big old heavy sleigh landing, all those reindeer stomping on your roof, and then taking back off again. So we encourage you to call them at 877-787-6635. All right, last night's injury report, not good. Not good news for Alabama. Not good news really for Georgia either, but we'll start with the Alabama side. Alabama, we already knew Jamarian Latham, you've been out all year with a neck injury. All right. We already knew Drake Kirkpatrick, you've been suspended ever since you were arrested in Tuscaloosa. We already knew Jeremiah Beeman, you've been out since the first week of the season. You messed up your knee. We already knew Kevin Riley busted up jaw in the Eastern Illinois game. We kind of were wondering if he was going to be back by then, but still too early with a broken jaw. Surprises from Cameron Howard was out the prior game as well, defensive back. But surprises from last night include super reserve Mal Waldrop Jr., freshman offensive lineman, must have gotten hurt in practice, but has not really played this year. So that's not really a huge effect on this game. But the big, goodness gracious, big news last night was LT Overton, Alabama's starting bandit. Was listed not questionable, not probable, not doubtful. Listed, went ahead and put him as out. Big surprise, actually. He was made available on the Tuesday availability. Reportedly practiced yesterday, but I think that it must have gotten injured in practice, and we still don't really have any details. We'll hear from Coach DeBoer on Thursday, and Coach DeBoer is going to probably be really coy about the injury, and so I don't really know if we're going to find out a whole lot about LT Overton's injury other than he is out. So we'll see what he has to say, but it changes things for Alabama's defensive front.
Yeah, I mean, the answer, it'll just be, well, LT got nicked up, not going to be able to play this week. It's not really going to be much more than that. I doubt that he's going to give us any specifics, but that is certainly a big loss for Alabama. I mean, you're looking at who you have to replace him, and, you've got some talented players there, but a lot of guys that have not played a ton, and a lot of guys that now are being thrust into the biggest stage of the season there in Atlanta. So, I don't know. I have talked about how confident I feel about this game going in, and I still feel pretty good. I think Alabama I think they just match up really well against Georgia. They match up really favorably against Georgia. But that is certainly a big loss. You're going to need to be able to pressure Gunnar Stockton in this game to get him off of his spots and get him out of rhythm and things. And if you can't do that with the backups, who are you going to turn to?
Yeah, so you're first going to turn to Jordan Renaud, and you're going to turn to Keon Keeley. But I wonder if I wonder if you're going to see Quay Rousseau and Yanzi Pierre on the field at the same time in separate in situations to where Quay Rousseau is taking on some of this bandit work. I think you'll see Jordan Renaud. I think you'll see Kelby Collins play right here. And obviously Keon Keeley has gotten in on pass rushing situations. But I do think it's a big loss. I haven't really been overwhelmed by LT Overton this year. Like, wow, he's a great defensive end. But I think he's a really solid player.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he's usually in good position. And so I do think it's a pretty big deal for Alabama. Obviously, the last time they played Georgia, LT Overton and Deontay Lawson combining for that 4th and 1 stop on Cash Jones, where Kirby Smart passed up for a field goal opportunity and then ultimately didn't score anything. So I am I sitting here changing my prediction about the game? No, I'm not. But I think that it provides an opportunity. Like I haven't really been in love with Jordan Renaud either, or Kelvin Collins, or Keon Keeley in his limited action. He's rushed the passer pretty well, but he's also really only been in thrust into action in real pass rushing situations. Like, hey, we know it's 3rd and 15. They're passing. Get after the passer. I don't know about how he's going to perform in a down in, down out role, but look, it just is what it is. The injury report's not going to be changing at this point.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have gone on and listed him as out if there was a chance that, hey, maybe we're wrong. You've got people who are online who are saying, oh, he's just got a small injury. They know this SEC championship game doesn't matter. They're trying to save him for the college football playoff. I think that's total hooey. I think that is complete and total hooey because I don't think that the people in the building are assuming that the game doesn't matter. I think that they, like me, on Tuesday heard Hunter Yurachek say we're going to re-rank everybody after the conference championship game, and a 3-loss Alabama team, while you did lose the bonus game, and I would be of the opinion that shouldn't hurt them. You can't really predict what the college football playoff committee is going to do if they just look at a record and see 10-3. Oh, 3-loss. We're bumping you behind all the 2-loss teams. Yeah. I think that's totally caveman brain that could happen. So I think the game matters a lot. And I don't think they would have just ruled him out we're saving him for the playoffs type situation. I'll be very curious to see Coach DeBoer's comments today, and curious to see if there's a chance to get LT Overton back for later action. But I'm not sitting here thinking that it's the worst loss in the world. Maybe that's me undervaluing LT Overton's contributions. You will have a fall off. I do think you will have a fall off, but I think that what you're going to end up doing is playing just a lot more guys.
Yeah.
Just going to say, Renaud, here's your 2 or 3 snaps. Keon Keeley, here's your 2 or 3 snaps. Kelby Collins, here's your 2 or 3 snaps. You're going to see Quay Rousseau, here's your 2 or 3 snaps. So I think that that's really going to be the way that Alabama tries to fill in the gap for LT Overton.
And, look, if that's the way that you're going to have to replace them, I can't imagine it's very easy to be an offensive lineman and you're having guys cycle out in front of you every 3 or 4, 2, 3, 4 plays, whatever it is. It's probably hard to get a read on what those guys are doing. So maybe that plays into Alabama's favor just a little bit.
Yeah, you'll also see a little bit of Fatutu Henry as well. So I think they'll just kind of, hey, man, you got 2 or 3 snaps. If you messed up, I'm pulling you out. I'm going to coach you up on the sidelines, and we'll throw you right back in. So we'll see. We'll see how they go on Saturday. The rest of the injury report is fairly interesting to me to see Josh Cuevas listed as questionable because I thought he was pretty much going to be out. Coach DeBoer on Sunday saying it would be a long shot for him to travel with the team or be available. And questionable to me means I think that there's an okay chance that he plays. The rest of the questionable list, I think every single one of them is an interesting look. Danny Lewis Jr., obviously the walking boot, is I would just go ahead and consider him out because that's just been his MO all season long.
Just is what it is.
Right. And I don't really think you're losing much anyways right there. The other two names are pretty damn interesting. Cam Dewberry listed as questionable and Jam Miller listed as questionable. Offensive guard, left guard Cam Dewberry. He's basically been your starting left guard pretty much all year. Rotated in and out with William Sanders and with Gino Vandermark. They've rotated out, but it's basically been Cam Dewberry's job. And I think that would be a pretty huge loss for Alabama to just say, hey, Gino's got to play. I like Gino, but I think he's lacking some in the power and athleticism game. I think he's really smart. I think he's really aware of, his assignment and what defenses are trying to do to him, but I'm not quite sure if he's really got it in the power game. And with Alabama finding some running success last week, I wanted to keep the offensive line the exact same. So I think that's a pretty big name to watch, a pretty big situation to watch. And then Jam Miller obviously went out in the Auburn game, and so you're wondering if his ankle foot situation is going to be better. He left the sidelines on crutches. I would probably assume that he is not going to play if I were an Alabama fan. So those two names, I think, are really, really big deals for Alabama's offense. Josh Cuevas, you already worked through two different games without him. You'd love to have him back, but I think that if he comes back, that's just bonus for the offense. But three pretty big names and Danny Lewis on the questionable side.
Yeah, I would love to see Josh Cuevas back. I mean, he's been one of the most consistent targets on this offense all season, basically, him and Jeremy Bernard. So, if you can get him back in this game, great. If not, I still do feel okay about what you have in your backup tight ends, but, it's just an inexperience there behind Josh Cuevas that worries me a little bit. And with Jam Miller, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. I like Jam Miller. I don't think he is necessarily an elite running back or like that, but I do think he's solid, and I think that he is the, kind of the veteran presence there in that room. And without him, it's a lot to ask Daniel Hill to carry that load on his shoulders.
Daniel Hill and AK Deer.
There we go.
Load me up some AK Deer. Oh, gosh. Load me up some AK Deer, please. And Richard Young, will you give us a couple more games before you transfer?
I doubt it.
We'll see what kind of production you can get out of Richard Young. But I think if you're an Alabama fan, you're going to be expecting a big old contribution from Daniel Mountain, and we'll see if AK Deer can get in there as a change of pace running back. And look, I'm an AK Deer fan, so I think that he runs the ball a little differently when it's in his hands. I wonder about him always knowing his assignment and being physical in pass protection, but I think when you can get the football into his hands, good things might happen. So, and maybe I'm just like blinded by his two games against lower competition, but I'm a big fan of AK Deer.
I mean, he was a fantastic recruit coming out of high school. Like you said, the little bit we have seen of him has been really impressive. It just hasn't come against the best competition. So this will be his opportunity to prove himself.
All right, so let's go to the Georgia side. And Georgia has several names. They're all listed as out. Nobody listed as questionable, doubtful, probable, any of those things. Several of these names we already knew. We knew Colby Young was out. He fractured his leg against Ole Miss, wide receiver. He played in the Alabama game, but did not play. Has not played since fracturing his leg. Obviously, let me type this in: Georgia, Alabama. 2025. Let me see how many. Did he have a big any receptions? Ended up 4 receptions. Yeah, 4 receptions. Oh yes. 4 receptions, 59 yards and a touchdown. He caught the touchdown behind Damani Jackson in Athens.
Yeah.
He will not be playing. That was already well known. Then you have Ethan Barber, kind of a freshmanish tight end, young tight end. He's been out for a long time, so that's not really very significant. Jordan Hall has been out. Defensive lineman has been out for about a month now. That's not really significant news. Kyron Jones, defensive back for Georgia, had 7 tackles against Alabama. So played pretty well in that game. Is going to be out, but he's been out for a while. 2 recent injuries for Georgia. Bo Walker had 9 carries, I think 3 touchdowns against Charlotte 2 weeks ago, but I think he got hurt in that game or in the week leading up to the Georgia Tech game. Young running back, so he's not really their premier running back, but I think they were giving him some carries against Charlotte in that, in their version of the FCS matchup. So he's not going to be available for Georgia. The most significant thing here is Drew Bobo. Drew Bobo, center for Georgia, injured in the Georgia Tech game, has been their starting center all season long, injured in the Georgia Tech game, and they're going to have to turn to young, inexperienced players. And I think this is an opportunity for Tim Keenan to really, really eat. And hopefully the defensive line can put some pressure on new offensive linemen and really get after Gunnar Stockton and really slow down this running game from Georgia. So Drew Bobo, he was on Sunday. Coach Kirby Smart said, we'll see. We don't know. We'll find out. We hope to have him back. But officially, he is out.
Sorry for that. I had a
That's all right.
Crazy stuff over there in the corner. It was that is a huge loss for Georgia, though. You heard what Tim Keenan said earlier the week. I am hopeful that is not just going to get turned into bulletin board material right back in his face. But that is a massive loss for the Georgia Bulldogs, and I should, in theory, be a pretty good advantage for Alabama.
Yeah, so look, I know what you're dealing with. You just sent me your cat getting a little sick over there. We can basically finish this bad boy up because that was kind of my only other. Go ahead and deal with Ramses. It's all good. We're gonna get out of here for the day with that. The injury report was really my biggest last talking point. I'm going to just rant on one thing that I saw. Mason, if you want to chime in, it's great. It's okay. If you want to deal with your animal, be with your animal there real quick. Clark Lee yesterday insinuating that Vanderbilt is trying to get another game this Saturday. And I think that Clark Lee is opening up a big old, not can of worms, but a world of possibilities. Because I don't think it's a problem. I think it's great. I think it's great for college football and college football fans. He's insinuating, or he insinuated yesterday, he said for his players to keep their bags packed because they're trying to get another game. Obviously, Vanderbilt on the outside looking in for the college football playoff, and they're trying to win another game, get another quality win so that they can get themselves in the top 12. And you would assume that they're calling Miami, they're calling Notre Dame, maybe they're calling Texas for a rematch, maybe they're calling Oklahoma for a game, and they're saying, come on, let's go play, let's settle this on the field. And I think that while they're not going to get a game this Saturday, I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that's pretty wild. You can read the NCAA rules. They got to be like the 13th game has to be like outside of the United States. Got to be in like Puerto Rico or Hawaii, or has to be can't be. I don't think there's some weird rules about where it has to be. But I think he's opened up a pretty interesting construct here because Alabama, Georgia are going to play. You're going to see BYU, Texas Tech. You're going to see Indiana, Ohio State. You're going to see Tulane play in their conference title game. You're going to see Virginia and Duke as well. What I think might happen here is the college football playoff, or maybe the NCAA might say, Clark Lee, that's a great idea. We can make a lot of money if we take the 6 teams that are around the bubble that aren't in the conference title game, and we all throw y'all in a one game just exhibition, more or less, and we're going to help the committee get some data points right here. If you threw Miami and Vanderbilt in a game right now, if you threw Notre Dame and Vanderbilt in a game right now, shoot, maybe Notre Dame waxes Vanderbilt, maybe it goes the other way, but you can at least say there's better data points. Like, obviously, BYU is going to play Texas Tech, and I did predict the other day if BYU loses, I think they'll fall down, and then I think Miami will jump Notre Dame once they're back to back in the rankings, which is silly that they would even need that to happen. But I think that this is a great idea. Take the 4 or the 6, just open up a spot that says, hey, we have the ability to schedule 4 random games, 3 random games against all of the contenders that are around the bubble. Like, obviously, Ole Miss, you don't need it. Oregon, you don't need it. You guys are in the playoff field. But you look at the teams, Texas, you want to cry about being out of the college football playoff. Okay, you can do that. But you can also play in this game. Who would be your teams here? You'd be looking at Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Miami, Texas, Vanderbilt, maybe Utah, all right there, all the way to number 15. Gives you kind of some teams that are right there on the bubble. And, maybe the college football playoff committee decides, maybe they make this the part of the ranking system. And look, people will get upset about it anyways, but it will be intriguing. You make it an extra part of the college football playoff rankings every week. Hey, here's our top 12, and here's our 4 bonus games on conference championship weekend right now. This will help us decide who's in and who's out. I think while Vanderbilt won't get a game this weekend, this is a great idea that will catch fire for the future years.
Yeah, give me 11 teams with a 12th play-in spot. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Just do what the NCAA tournament does. Let teams play themselves into being in the college football playoff. You can rank them 1 to 11, and you can leave that last spot up for grabs between, a playoff or whatever of 4 teams or something if you want to.
So I think Clark Lee stumbled upon something that's going to be a lot of fun and probably going to be coming to, makes the conference championship game. You got so many people that are, well, Alabama, they're going to get punished for an extra game. We don't want to go play. Whatever the case may be. Why do we have to go play in Atlanta when Ole Miss gets to sit at home? Why do we have to play in Atlanta and Miami might sneak into the playoff for not playing an extra? I think that this will be the mitigate. Hey, y'all want to play in the playoff? You're going to have to play this 13th game, and you're going to have to beat a quality opponent. We know, sorry, BYU, your schedule hasn't been great. Notre Dame, your schedule, you've been on a 10-game win streak, but your schedule's been okay, right? We want to see you play against a quality team. Here's your pre-playoff play-in game.
I would love it. I think it'd be great.
And I think all of college football would love it as well. So it'd be great for ratings, and we all know this sport is driven by money. And so I think that that would be a great way to make a lot of money and to make the consumers happy and to keep the addicts hooked for another week.
Yeah, all that gambling revenue would be great.
That's right. All right, so we're going to get out of here for the day. We'll have Football Friday tomorrow. We'll have Brax Garrison on. We'll break down the Georgia Bulldogs a bit more. We'll make our predictions a bit more. You can call on the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. If you have any thoughts on this Georgia matchup, if you have any thoughts on the SEC Championship, the college football playoffs, and more. We had a lot of fun with you on the BamaCentral YouTube channel. Follow Mason for all of his recruiting news at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. Find the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon. I know Dax already sent me his Spotify Wrapped, #1 podcast on Dax's Spotify. We appreciate that very, very much, Dax, and we appreciate everybody who's joining us. So if you've got the Joe Gaither Show in your Spotify Wrapped, go ahead and shoot me a screenshot, and I'll hit you a retweet. I'll tell you thank you, because I will really, really mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. We're going to have a lot of fun the rest of the day. We've got Coach DeBoer at 1 o'clock. We've got Kirby Smart at 1:30. So there's going to be a lot of action on the BamaCentral YouTube channel coming up later today, all involving the SEC Championship. We appreciate everybody who gave us their time today, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.